beat XiaoT multiple times. XiaoT had his Tempo Rogue beaten twice, and then mid-range Hunter.
Half and half style draws as well.
All right, game number 1 has been set. Rogue versus Rogue to begin things off. It's going to be an explosive matchup. This is exactly what happened that last series that they played against each other. It was the Tempo Rogue Open. And I believe it was the same exact situation where XiaoT was on the play, Jing was on the coin. Jing able to get ahead by leveraging his tempo early on. And that's going to be really powerful once more if he's able to capitalize on that thief mechanic that has become quite one of the core identities of Rogue. But even more so to the point that he's throwing away underbelly fence because he wants to get these power cards. Evil Miscreant, definitely going to be one of those important roles.
Fence in particular is very unreliable in the Rogue Mirror, since the only card in your deck that enables it is a Hench Clan Burglar. You don't have the option of getting cards that are not Rogue cards from Blink Fox like against other classes. So Jing here has a pretty solid hand. He does have the Coin into Miscreant available to him on turn 2. XiaoT has Raiding Party, but no prep to go with it. It is worth noting that XiaoT's deck in this matchup is typically the aggressor, but both decks are capable of being very aggressive. XiaoT's, though, with Deadly Poisons and the South Sea deckhands, definitely looking to put on more pressure faster.
One of the things that I felt very consistent with XiaoT's previous series against Jing was that his draws were fairly awkward, and I think that's starting to manifest itself a little bit right now because he has different combo pieces like an Eviscerate, a Shadow Step, I mean heck even Raiding Party to a certain extent. Needs an enabler in order to really push it through to its peak power, and without a proactive 3-mana play, it looks like XiaoT is going to give Jing the initiative as early as next turn because Jing has the ability to coin the Evil Miscreant. I feel like we're watching the same exact series play out in some capacity here, Kibler, just with a couple of different actions.
Yeah, last time XiaoT primarily suffered due to drawing all of his expensive cards, whereas Jing was able to get online, but in a very similar way, with Jing having Miscreants and XiaoT not. And Miscreant is just so powerful with the 5 health, making it so difficult to remove from the board. And obviously those lackeys, just fire up everything Rogue wants to do with combo and various bounce effects, Shadow Step, all sorts of enablers that give you extra value from them.
Yes. Coin Evil Miscreant, one of the best plays Rogue has on turn 2, if not just generally considered to be the best.
Faceless Ethereal, just by looking at the text boxes. So summon a 2-drop minion and discover a spell. 2 of the stronger ones for sure.
I mean, honestly, all of them are just very
they're all
good.
great.
This matchup in particular.
Backstab means that Raiding Party is enabled this turn.
That's a big pickup.
Yeah.
I think that's especially big because XiaoT now has the ability to just win back if the board if he picks up a Dread Corsair in the Waggle pick, and then even go into a Captain Greenskin.
Yep.
Jing does have an acidic swap boost in his deck, but it's not in his hand.
Deckhand Corsair plus the pick. Corsair the draw for Jing with already a Waggle pick waiting in hand, but he did use his coin already, so he's going to be behind in the Waggle pick game.
Right. And that's fairly important as well. Jing coins out the Evil Miscreant, and yes, he gives up his power plays on turn 3 to go to turn 4, but the more important thing is for him to be able to react to XiaoT's turn 3 plays, which was giving him the initiative with his Evil Miscreant. That's not the case anymore, but he still has his options wide open if XiaoT ends up developing the board again. The one thing he can't stop is the Waggle pick.
One interesting thing is, Jing could just Shadow Step this and, reset it back to 5 health. That means even the Waggle pick won't kill it without some extra help. He can then play multiple lackeys off of this. He already has the Faceless he could choose to play as well.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that he does weaken his board development, though.
It's true.
So I think maybe going for that Faceless Lacking first, see what happens.
Yeah, it's a 1-1. Pretty bad result.
That's ugly. Yeah, I like the Shadow Step now.
Yep, and now he wants to see, what he'd love to see here is a Witchy Lackey to go along with this to give him a tempo advantage here. That's a Witchy Lackey.
Precisely.
And 4-4, so average 4-drop. Does mean that the Waggle pick, does kill it.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is not the Hearth and Home animation where you play Murlocs every single turn. Would be cool if all of it costs 1. XiaoT has the Waggle Pick and Dread Corsair set up. He doesn't have the Prep Fan. That'd be the perfect clean sweep.
It's actually, I'm just sort of thinking about this. I wonder how much of Jing's decision to use the Witchy Lackey. Because my initial instinct was, oh, you get a Witchy Lackey, you want to use it. But you know your opponent has Waggle Pick. The average health of a 4-drop, I think, is 4. And you're turning a 5 health minion into a 4 health minion.
Right.
So I wonder if Jing might have been better off just playing the Ethereal Lackey, getting a board of 4 minions, including the 1/5, even with the Witchy Lackey in hand, then using the Witchy Lackey afterwards to essentially heal up after he gets maybe an attack with the Goblin Lackey, which is the other card.
Yeah.
But I think with the rope burning, he didn't have the time to really make that kind of evaluation.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where because he's under pressure, he rushed his decision making and said, you know what, this is good enough, and maybe even have a good outcome with a 3/5. If he was able to get on the better outcome of it, maybe he would have a minion on the board, and as a result, he has to start over.
Yeah, it is worth noting. Obviously, these players are playing under tremendous pressure. This is the biggest match either of these players has ever played. Playing to remain alive in the World Championship, move through to the top 8. Neither of these players have been in this position before. So the challenge of Hearthstone often is simply being able to keep your cool under pressure and to be able to make these correct decisions within the sort of time you have available to you with everything else taken into consideration.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Jing's been taking his time so far, but he has an opportunity to start getting aggressive. He just drew Leroy. Waggle Pick is 8 damage at least. It's starting to piece together in a fairly aggressive plan. I like Waggle Pick and Dread Corsair in this position. Just because I want to generally be more aggressive. If my opponent lets me take the initiative, I want to. Well, that being said, Jing opts to go for more of the value.
Claw is interesting because Claw is both a little bit of sustain as well as damage, giving you 2 life, 2 armor, and 2 attack.
Right.
I think a lot of this is really the dance of the Waggle Pick. Both players, or rather, at least XiaoT, has a Waggle Pick that Jing knows about, right? So if you Waggle Pick into Dread Corsair, do you just get Waggle Pick and Dread Corsair back? Are you better off trying to develop a different way and then be able to play your Waggle Pick in a turn that you can attack into something with it rather than just hitting your opponent's face to fight for the board?
Right. I guess so. I think it's also because Jing has the ability to just keep his options open with all these really cheap spells that he has that flexibility to just respond. At a certain point, though, he just wants to turn the corner and threaten. This is not a matchup where you want to drag it out to your 10th to 11th turn. I think the game often gets decided within usually turn 7, turn 8.
It's true.
And that's why, for me, it's a little bit interesting that he was opting to go for a Henchcamp Burger when he doesn't have Vendetta in his hand. If he's trying to go for like a dramatic tempo swing play that utilizes Vendetta as 0-cost minion, totally understand. But now XiaoT has the initiative, which is something that XiaoT's been looking for all game long. From turn 1 onward, he's been playing behind.
It's true.
And now Jing, if he goes for this setup with the Waggle Pick now in response, he's going to be behind.
If Jing wants to, he can play Waggle Pick into Dread Corsair, into Goblin Lackey to rush it in so he can get the damage into face still.
Okay.
Because he has the 1 extra mana available. So if he, this doesn't prevent him from being able to connect that pick to face whatsoever. And it's sort of an interesting point position because it does. I was going to say does leave XiaoT not knowing what's up. Cheap shot's very interesting if your opponent ever tries to build a board.
Right. Well, one is funny because it kind of works right here in this position, but it's very slow again. It's what's your actual game plan?
Yeah, it's pick time.
Now, if XiaoT had any semblance of minions, like a Evil Miscreant,
I wonder if he doesn't want to play the Dread Corsair at all. Because he can use the Dread Corsair as a 0-cost spell to help enable his Edwin next turn, and
what a big pickup here from XiaoT.
That is huge. Yeah, Evil Miscreant is crucial to allowing XiaoT to start to really do something with his hand. His hand is a lot of low-impact cards, a lot of cheap cards.
It's a lot of damage is what it is. He's got 2 Eviscerates and a Deadly Poison. That's 4 damage apiece, assuming that you have a normal 2 durability weapon. Ethereal Lackey can give you just more damage.
And does XiaoT just want to attack in and get another miscreant here?
I like it. You also don't get the guarantee of having weapon damage because you know your opponent plays acidic swamp ooze. Honestly, XiaoT might be able to just piece together like 20 damage just from like the lackeys and eviscerates.
The Immortal Prelate is actually kind of an awkward thing here because he certainly doesn't want to draw that if it dies. As it faces lackey number 2, could just make a pretty wide board, which is not easy for Jing to necessarily deal with.
Yeah. And the scary thing is, XiaoT has another Shadow Step, which is huge.
Oh,
he can
wow.
destroy the Waggle Pick now. Wow!
Wow, the Shadow Step and the Ooze off of the Faceless.
Massive swing
and
here
now that
for XiaoT.
that Dread Corsair is stranded.
I mean, Jing is not accounting for that at all. There's no acidic swamp ooze in XiaoT's deck.
You know, this cheap shot can clear off some of this board, but not all of it.
I mean, XiaoT picked up his own cheap shot in the form of the acidic swamp ooze.
Punch to the gut.
That is cheap. Now, that being said, I mean, Jing still has plays, but, I mean, he has full hand. His big limitation is mana cost right now.
Right. And, you know, despite the fact that he does have the tools that can enable him to play a large Edwin this turn, we see that there's a sap waiting in XiaoT's hand. And there's only a single copy of sap in XiaoT's deck, as there is in many of these decks in this tournament. And, you know, perhaps Jing decides that he wants to give it a shot.
Hogwaggle scheme.
Hogwaggle scheme. We've seen that do a lot of work in the other versions of Rogue that are popular in this tournament. But not really what Jing's deck is looking to do, and certainly not what he needs here.
Right, and again, Jing went from an aggressive, like, I have the opportunity to take the board, to playing very reactive. And granted, had XiaoT not picked up that Evil Miscreant, his hand would just be all spells. You just draw more damage at this point.
I mean, this from XiaoT could easily be just a push over a couple of turns. He's got double Deadly Poison. He has double Eviscerate. He has 4 on the board. Deadly now is 5 plus 4. It's 9 damage. That would put Jing down to, you know, just 14. Then the dagger plus the 2 Eviscerates.
Sinister Strike?
Sinister Strike.
Okay, that's lethal over 2 turns.
Yeah.
Almost guaranteed unless Jing's able to disrupt it.
He doesn't even need his minions to stay in play at this point.
Right.
The question becomes, is there any way for Jing to kill him in the backswing?
Leroy Prep Eviscerate is 14 damage, plus 6 on board is 20. That's the max damage that I count. There is hidden spells, like a Druid card. Druid could give you a Innervate. And then the Rogue card discovered could be like a Sinister Strike. So there is like this very, very weird world where you do lose, but it's an extremely low percentage chance. That being said, if XiaoT feels inclined to do so, he can just sap one of these minions or even just trade.
Yep. Put you down to 12. Sinister Strike Evis in hand. It's another SI agent, but you know, it's a fistful of stuff, but none of it stops the damage from hand from XiaoT.
Okay, but this is the worst feeling as a rogue player. And I think you can identify this as a Tespionage when you have a lot of like cool combos and stuff and a really full hand, but you just have no way to defend yourself to stop yourself from dying.
Well, frankly, that's what you need Vendetta and Fence for in this kind of deck. That's why those cards are so central to this deck's ability to fight back. The problem being, of course, that Fence not really reliable in the Rogue Mirror match, which is why we saw Jing throw it back. Even if he did have a Vendetta here, this is the power of lackeys. There's just a bunch of damage spread across the board.
Yeah, and of course, it was like kind of icing on the cake for XiaoT, which was kind of backbreaking, right? It was the Acidic Swamp Ooze to stop big bounces like an SI7 agent from clearing things. But I also feel like Jing had that opportunity, and I feel like him playing so slow has really cost him big time to even stay competitive in this game.
Man, I mean, there's 11 from the hand and a 5 damage dagger in play. Jing is trying to do what he can to stem the bleeding, but we know that there is nothing that he can do. Able to go up to 14, make a big Van Cleef, but not big enough. Too little, too late. XiaoT has the burn. He's going to take game 1.
XiaoT able to change history here, taking the Rogue Mirror, which was one of the limiting factors in the previous series. Jing playing a little too slow. That's going to cost him, as now XiaoT is in a prime position to reverse the tide of what the initial match was earlier in this tournament.
Yep. And I feel like when we were evaluating some of the stats of not the class
Out for game number 2 here.
All right, well, it will be once again Jing on the Rogue. Has a hand full of Dread Corsair. He's got the Miscreant. Very, very key card. We do see he keeps it. Also, very key, he has the coin. Vendetta, Waggle Pick, and that Ooze are the rest of his opener. And that Ooze can come in handy because XiaoT does have Headhunter's Hatchet in hand.
Yeah, no one drop for XiaoT. That is fairly impactful.
Yep, there are 6 in the deck.
Yes.
They do very well at enabling the Headhunter's Hatchet on 2. Though Hatchet is a bit weaker against Rogue than against, say, Zoo. Because Rogue doesn't really play, small minions that it really cares about. It's like, oh, well, the things that it might kill are like a lackey, right? So less important to stifle that than it is if you're playing up against, say, Zoo.
Yeah. XiaoT has the opportunity to drop the Hyena here on curve, and I think a lot of people, when they go up against like a Rogue, they're just scared to play things with 2 health on turn 2 because of the threat of Coin SI7 Agent. But if they're playing Coin SI7 Agent, they're not playing like Evil Miscreant, and they're trying to set up tempo, and then you can kind of force them to react. The thing is, it's sort of a bluff from XiaoT because based off his hand, it looks like he wants to play Master's Call on 3. So it's not like he has a good follow-up plan to Scavenge a Hyena. So I think that's what he's weighing in his mind.
Right.
And I won't blame him if he ends up just choosing a hero power here.
He would play a Hatchet with just 2 charges. Again, not really necessarily super crucial. All right, he's going to get that down.
So this is an investment into this future because I think he wants to swing the board with his Master's Call on 3, Hyena plus a Spring Paw combination on 4.
Yeah, but he's walking right into this Ooze, which he does not know that Jing has, of course.
Right. That's the brutal punish.
This is a point where Jing would love to just coin Miscreant. Being able to play the Ooze here does give him the possibility of just coin Miscreant, Shadows at Miscreant the following turn, or coin Miscreant into a Lackey, which is very powerful. So I think Jing is weighing the merits of those options here. He does leave himself open to have more options if he just plays the Ooze now, because he has the possibility of, say, an Animal Companion comes down, right?
Right.
Then he can coin out Burglar and then Vendetta the next turn. So I feel like the Ooze is the play, that makes the most sense for Jing from this perspective, mostly because of Animal Companion.
Yeah, it gets really scary when you start understanding like the power spikes at Hunter and what Hunter can do at each turn, especially when Master's Call is played on 3. You start accounting for Scavenging Hyena plus Rush minions, and so having that Vendetta and that Waggle Pick in his back pocket is going to be massive. Springbot
also very likely to be a draw here from the Master's Call, but very important to pair with that Scavenging Hyena.
Yeah, there's not that many beasts in the deck.
Raiding Party is a draw for Jing. Now, this is an interesting situation because if he does coin out the Henge Clan Burglar, it doesn't have an easy way to combo for the Miscreant, so I would expect most likely coin Miscreant into a Lackey here of some kind.
Yeah, he could just play the Henge Clan Burglar as removal.
Right. The next turn, Henge Clan Burglar is just 4 cost. Turn on your Vendetta, kill your big thing if necessary.
Yes. Although it is the better minion on board, guaranteed. If you play the Miscreant, you might get a 1/1 that you just have to play.
Yeah, but I feel like being able to guarantee you have the enabler for your Miscreant here is quite important. There's a Witchy Lackey, I believe, so you can actually turn that into a 4-drop as well.
I wonder if he's even tempted.
There's some consideration to just, I'm going to hit you for more damage. I wonder if this is some consideration to just kind of what happened last game where he lost his Miscreant when it turned into a 4/4, just got himself killed. And now it's like, okay, well, I can get my sort of value trade on with this and then fire off the Witchy Lackey.
So XiaoT has a couple options here. Yes, he could go for a Scavenging Hyena, but he also has a turn 5 powerful Scavenging Hyena play with the Spring Paw plus the Timberwolf. So he does have options at his disposal. He could also use Tracking this turn to set up for even a more swingy turn 5, say if he picks up Unleash the Hounds, or even another Timberwolf. So these are all different things that XiaoT is considering.
I wonder.
The one thing that he has to be careful of course, is not losing too much life total, because turn 4 with the Waggle Pick Dread Corsair is a scary thought to stop. Like, it will stop a lot of the rush shenanigans.
Yeah, in particular, you know, the Spring Paw here with the Hyena, it's good. He's going to take the 4 power minion off the board, but he is setting up a 4 health minion, and that's exactly what Jing left himself in position to be able to deal with the Henge Clan Burglar plus Vendetta, or even just Waggle Pick if he wants. I expect we'll see Burglar Vendetta, because that's not getting much better, and you don't want to take 6, especially without the tempo option of a Dread Corsair here as well.
Right.
Getting Burglin.
Yeah, and he increases his options for the following turn. And this is exactly where Tempo Rogue should be.
Huh, Shadow Madness. What can you have Shadow Madness?
Pretty much everything from Hunter's deck.
Yes, but as far as like value, it's not like you're getting like Kindly Grandmother anymore, right?
Sure. The idea is that, let's say they play Witchwood Grizzly, and you can get past it with Shadow Madness.
Secret Plan, notably, no longer gives you Rogue Secrets because they rotate it out. So that will give you, that'll be a 1-cost spell that you can use for combo that will then give you a Hunter Secret.
Yep.
That's what he takes.
Okay. Don't mind.
I think part of that is enabling combo. It gives him the ability to turn on Raiding Party. And you know, crucially, does still give you access to the Vendetta / Fence effect after you've played it. Second Timberwolf does make Unleash, if it comes into the hand, pretty powerful. But right now, it's a little low impact.
Right, and this is kind of one of the things that XiaoT had to weigh. You know, like if he dug deeper into his deck with tracking, he had a chance to find Unleash the Hounds to set up for that swingy turn 5. But it's difficult because he also knows that Rogue is most likely going to win the board on turn 4. That's just what they usually do with a Waggle Pick swing. And in this case, it was actually even slightly worse because now he set up a slightly better minion, and he still has the Waggle Pick threat. But you know, he doesn't know exactly for sure because Jing hasn't played a Raiding Party. In this case, is XiaoT's best play simply just to get this Thunder Rhino back? It can't be, because he has Timberwolves on the board, so I think he has to save that. Is he just going to go for a Deadly Shot instead?
Yep.
Ugh.
It is not pretty.
Okay.
Does hit the big minion, though.
That's nice. It's not amazing. I mean, it is the best case scenario, but you know, this is not what XiaoT wants. As the mid-range hunter, you want to be commandingly ahead of the board right now. The nice thing is he does have Unleash the Beast for next turn, which can most likely answer every minion from Rogue.
It's true, and he's at a decent health total. He's at 25. So, you know, XiaoT in this matchup is kind of the control deck, right? He wants to be able to survive to the point. If he is unable to get sort of the initial really big aggression going with the Scavenging Hyena, he wants to be able to survive, get value off the Unleash the Beasts, and eventually try to bridge to his late game of potentially even Zul'jin.
Jing also definitely wants to remove this Vicious Scale Hide in some capacity, maybe an SI7 agent or something else. It's not like the Waggle Pick sets up anything amazing.
Right.
So if you give XiaoT the ability to Dire Frenzy a Vicious Scale Hide, I don't think we have to remind you guys what Quest Rogue was able to do with above Vicious Scale Hide, so I think that's going to be one of his higher priorities here.
He could... Yeah, SI is going to be the way he kills it. Is he going to Witchy Lackey this?
I think so. I mean...
Oh, no. 4-1. Though
Spring Paw has been used.
Interestingly, against Unleash the Beast, that doesn't matter that much that it's 4-1 rather than, like, say, 4-4.
Right, because the Spring Paw has already been used. There is one more Spring Paw in the deck, but XiaoT doesn't have it. And this is a turn where I think XiaoT is either thinking about Thunder Rhino Timberwolf or Unleash the Beast. And I think based off the way things have been panning out, he might lean towards the Thunder Rhino. The value, in his mind, the value is starting to dissipate a little bit from the Rogue. In fact, if he plays Unleash the Beast, I think he might want to prioritize killing the Evil Miscreant just to make sure that he can't bounce it in some capacity.
Yeah, I feel like the Timberwolf Thunder Rhino, he gets to take out 2 things on the board. He has a Thunder Rhino with 1 damage on it. Does get killed by Waggle Pick, but gets a good use out of this Timberwolf, which otherwise might not really necessarily have a great opportunity.
Yeah. And it's not like Jing has the most amazing waggle pick turn either. Doesn't have Dread Corsair, doesn't have Pirates to follow it up. And Jing definitely wants to take out this Tundra Rhino.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Tundra Rhino is kind of like the hunter's gadgets and auctioneer. Lives through a turn, you're probably in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it's like Houndmaster Shaw level of threats, just better because, you know, charge.
Really? Is Rush better than charge?
No, not at all. I think in this position too, like if Jing plays this pick, not that he has much of a choice, I think, because if he chooses to go for a fancier play like Shadow Step the evil miscreant, he does risk not having the ability to shut it down naturally, and then he doesn't play Snipe. The funny thing is, Snipe doesn't really do anything to an Unleashed Beast.
Yeah, it's a weird spot.
Yes, but the Tundra Rhino is way too threatening.
Yeah. Oh, that's got to die. The question is, what else you do?
Right. I think there's merit in Shadow Stepping this. But I think in Jing's mind, he plays Snipe, and XiaoT's like, dude, that could be Freezing Trap. And if it's Freezing Trap, this Wyvern gets bounced back to my hand, and I'm a sad panda.
Yep, that is definitely a very real consideration.
The upside, though, if it's not Freezing Trap, because it's not guaranteed.
Animal Companion double Unleash.
Unleash the Hounds is a good contingency plan if it's a Snake Trap situation, which I think is something XiaoT is considering. What is that Hunter Secret? Is it Snake Trap? Is it Snipe? Is it Explosive Trap? Freezing Trap? Rat Trap?
Dark Trap.
Dark Trap. I think that's all of it.
Bear Trap. Wandering Monster. I'm just naming. I'm naming secrets that are like literally not in standard anymore. But
what about Cat Trap?
Ooh,
that was my favorite.
Trick.
Oh, is it Cat Trick? Big payoff here for XiaoT.
Yeah.
Jing no longer able to Shadow Step that miscreant, or did I speak too soon?
Well, he's kind of in a weird spot with his ability to actually activate combo for the miscreant or the raiding party. You know, if he had, say, a lackey in his hand, this turn's great, right? He's able to lackey miscreant raiding party. As it is, he's got to lead with Blink Fox.
I think Blink Fox bouncing back is not the worst thing in the world.
Ooh,
oh, wow.
A Spider Bomb is
That's a very powerful card.
Going Raiden.
He's going to swing immediately.
Well,
or does he develop with the Dread Corsair?
He knows there's another Unleash the Beast here.
Right.
So I wonder...
Blood.
All right.
Oh, man. It gets the Blink Fox bounce. That's big.
It is. Very big.
Another card goes into Jing's hand. A calculated risk. Although...
That's... His next Blink Fox will draw him a card. That's a starving buzzard here.
Yeah.
For Jing. If he does... He has a burglar. He could find and Unleash the Hounds.
Okay.
And go old school card advantage.
Yeah. So he knows that this secret isn't Snake Trap and it isn't Freezing Trap. That much he knows.
The Mark Shot's a decent draw here. If he wants to play a removal game, he could just Unleash again.
Unleash the Beast.
Yes. I guess. Yeah. Unleash is not a great term here to use when he has two of those in hand. But Unleash the Beast is a fairly difficult card to use.
Right.
It costs 6 mana. So using Unleash the Beast here, again, he knows it's not Snake Trap or Freeze. So
yeah, I like it too because if he does, in the instance where he does pick a Zul'jin in the next few turns, he actually has a really powerful swing on the board, and that's something that I think was maybe even weighing on Jing's mind. It's like I need to be able to set up the most powerful turn, well, essentially now because on 10 mana I might just get blown out of the game. It doesn't matter if I have all these cool, tricky, fancy plays by stealing cards if I just get out-tempoed by a massive board summoning. So this is, in my opinion, the turn Jing has to go off. I think he can't wait any longer. Not that he has many options to either. he has attack, shadow step, and buzzard, right? Like that's like his fun, cool value plays.
Worker finds Dragon Roar,
More value cards.
Farsight, and Spellbender.
Spellbender works good against Mark Shot, but it's just a fancy play.
Spellbender does work against Dire Frenzy, right?
Yes. But I believe the Dire Frenzy will shuffle the Spellbender minion into their deck, not into Jing's.
But it's pretty powerful.
Interesting that he goes for a Farsight.
Yeah. I wonder what he's looking for.
Choose soon.
Fan Cleave?
Really powerful.
Prep Farsight, which is like prepping the next card and it stays that way. No!
Oh!
That is a massive punish.
Yeah. Finds a second preparation off the Farsight. Able to clear off the Wyvern, get some damage in. Master's Call to draw for XiaoT.
Okay.
Ooh, that prep Farsight into prep is just sad.
That was very, very sad indeed. I think XiaoT can lead off here with either the Mark Shot or the Master's Call. Master's Call picking up a Spring Paw and the Witchwood Grizzly. Witchwood Grizzly would be a fantastic card to Dire Frenzy because there's not many removal tools left.
I kind of like Unleash plus Mark Shot here. You just clear off the board, right?
Okay, that's fair.
And you're getting use of these at a point where your Unleash is rarely going to be great, right? Unless your opponent has a bunch of lackeys in play and has already used both Miscreants and one of the lackeys.
The one caveat is that there is a threat of Rat Trap. So if he plays Unleash the Hounds and Mark Shot, he can't play his
You just don't play anything else.
Okay, so you just played those two cards.
All right, gonna go with Master's Call rather. Finds Shimmerfly, Hyena, Spring Paw.
So the benefit of this play is exactly that. The Savaging Hyena. You play the Timberwolf.
Yep.
See if your opponent plays a Rat Trap.
Sniped.
Oh! But also recognizes that he was playing around Rat Trap. So yes, that looks like an Odor LUL situation, but I think that was his best case against everything. You ideally keep this at the Hyena, but if it,
And now XiaoT he's at 17. There's a Waggle pick for Jing. He has Ethereal Lackey. He has SI Agent. How much damage can he do?
So he's got 11 damage over the course of 2 turns with the Waggle pick and the SI7 agent. That's 10, and then the 11th point of damage on board.
All right, get started with the Lackey. Finds Blade Flurry.
Blade Flurry.
Walk the Plank.
Imagine Waggle pick Blade Flurry.
Boom.
Walk the Plank is actually a fairly useful card if you want to get past the Witchwood Grizzly,
yes.
and you don't want to just permanently remove it. But Jing doesn't have a sap in his deck, so
it's true.
The sap is probably just like more useful for the immediate kill.
Yeah, gonna go with sap.
Yeah. However, this is his last turn before Zul'jin is permanently a threat in his back of his mind, and maybe in this case, Jing doesn't necessarily play a big tempo turn. Maybe he plays Waggle Pick and Spider Bomb. Just threatens that. But
there's already a weapon on the other side of the board. I think Spider Bomb's pretty unexciting here.
I mean, that's fair. It's one of those things that he has to consider. But
This guy's toast.
Ooh, backstabs rather than trades. Just wants the threat here.
so this is an all-in push. He's saying if you have Zul'jin, you have
I'm
it.
gonna kill you. Kill command. Gonna try and kill you back, but very far away. Mark Shot does give him an answer to the SI and allows him to find a little bit more. He can clear the board without taking any damage. But, again, there's that Waggle pick waiting. I really want to go back and think about how Jing chose not to Shadow Step Miscreant a long time ago. We were talking about he was running a little bit low, chose not to Shadow Step the Miscreant. That Shadow Step's still in his hand.
Yeah.
It has not found an opportunity to be used.
Well, he can unnerve Starving Buzzard.
He can.
That's about it. Mark Shot, what are you going to get?
Unleash, 9 lives, and tracking. Only 8 cards in XiaoT's deck, but he doesn't need
Tracking
anything except for Zul'jin to really be able to swing this game around.
Yes, Zul'jin is big. Unleash the Beast, kill Command Shimmerfly. Oh, man.
Quickly.
I feel like XiaoT wants to play just as defensively as possible here. Unleash the Beast is the pick.
It's a defensive play for sure.
Yeah.
I think he just plays everything that's cheap here.
Clear these off. Take as little damage as possible.
Yeah, and I don't think he's swinging another minion for the rest of the game. Jing on a draw to win the game if he picks up Leroy Jenkins. But he's got just as many Hunter cards that are useful that he does his Rogue cards.
That's Dread Corsair. Jing now able to get XiaoT down very low, but not quite lethal.
Yeah.
I wonder.
If you're Jing, do you just go with what you have, like Starving Buzzard and Spider Bomb, and just like pressure?
I think you just get him, right? I mean, I feel like, do you just play, your Dread Corsair, then attack, because your Dread Corsair comes back costing 2, and just play all of those out?
I mean, the Dread Corsair prevents you from a backswing. What he doesn't know is that XiaoT tracked over his second kill command. So I think he's wondering, like, okay, is there any like shenanigans where I'm like opening myself up to a Unleash the Hounds and double kill command? I think the Dread Corsair helps him shut that possibility out. If he like went really wide on the board.
Blood and plunder.
You know, I think. Okay.
Get him.
Maybe scaring XiaoT with the Van Cleave.
What a motley crew this is.
I guess the order didn't really matter. Oh boy.
It doesn't matter too much because there's a sap in hand.
Yeah, but okay.
I feel like from XiaoT's perspective, he's got to clear as much as he can.
Yes.
Especially with that Spider Bomb, right? The Spider Bomb in play makes the sap in hand not even something. Even though there's no sap in Jing's deck, you know there's a Spider Bomb on the board. So trying to defend yourself with Wishwood Grizzly, feels scary, right?
Right.
At the same time, what do you do?
So
Unleash the Beast.
He can clear the board with Unleash the Beast and Dire Frenzy. It's just that, well, one, you had to take damage, which is scary.
Right.
But he knows there's no sap in the Rogue deck.
He could kill command the bomb now and play the Dire Frenzy, or kill. Yeah, okay, he's doing this.
Right, and the spell could also save him too.
Deadly shot. Okay. Well, going down to 4.
If he plays a Grizzly, he's dead.
Yeah, he's gonna play the Grizzly.
Wow. And it's that extra card that Jing was able to get.
Yep.
The sap gonna get over the hump. Remember, that sap is not organic through his deck list.
There's Leroy anyway.
Well, Leroy wouldn't have been able to finish the game here. That taunt was massive, and now XiaoT, 1 damage was all the difference maker in this position.
Yeah. And that was a very, very close game there. And XiaoT, he was digging for Zul'jin. He discovered a tracking. Zul'jin was the bottom. Well, it will be an uphill climb for XiaoT here, as Hunter has been struggling a bit against Warlock in this tournament, though Warlock has been struggling in general.
Oh, yeah. Zoo Warlock in particular. Oh, actually, that's the only Warlock we have here.
What about Plot Twist Warlock? How's that doing in the World Championship Throwdown?
But Plot Twist Warlock is just happy it even gets mentioned at the World Championships. But in terms of Zoo Warlock, I believe we were told that as of coming into this series, his performance has been 14 and 18. That is abysmal relative to what you want to do. But also to the credit of many players, they're saying the Zoo Warlock was their 4th deck that they want. They often knew that they wanted to play Rogue and Warrior, and maybe that like defined 3rd deck. For some people, it's like Hunter. For some people, it was like Mage or something. Shaman even. But people are like, I do not want to play like that many good things. And Zoo Warlock, a lot of players, as they were about to walk up to the stage, were like, I don't know if my Zoo can get through.
Yep.
And I think if you're in Jing's camp, you're pretty happy with his opening hand, though. Definitely spells a recipe for success.
Flame Imp Voidwalker, name a more iconic duo.
Yes, they are the bot lane duo of Hearthstone.
I don't know, Flame Imp's more of like a jungler. He like ganks you right away. Level 1 gank coming in.
That's right. It's like, if you honestly, like with Zoo, it's just like a level 1 invade. Yeah, of all kinds. It's just everything
You're
like
just
1
hoping
mana.
to cheese them out.
It's just a bunch of 1 mana cost level 1 things, just trying to push you out of the game. And you better be prepared. And XiaoT has his own army of 1 mana minions. Shimmerfly can be impactful. The only thing is that he kind of wanted the other 1 mana cost
Right.
minion with Spring Paw.
Yeah, XiaoT would love to have one of his other little dudes from this deck, especially in combination with that Timberwolf. Just going to go ahead and Shimmer Fly out there. And now the decision-making for Jing here is kind of interesting because, how is he going to play this here? Is he going to go, get damage in the face? Do you want to prevent this Shimmerfly from possibly getting buffed by Timberwolf?
Right, what's the worst case scenario here for Jing? It's if XiaoT utilizes the coin and plays Timberwolf with 2 rushers. And if that's the case, then Jing will lose a big chunk of his board. Voidwalker is very crucially statted, though, at 3 health, which makes it very difficult for XiaoT to push through, unless he had double Timberwolf. Actually, that is the worst case scenario. Double Timberwolf plus a Spring Paw Rush. So he does make the trade in that event.
Yep. So this may look a little bit odd. He's...
So this Argent Squire is a setup for the Evil Genius, which he anticipates to make that trade that he needs to. And XiaoT does not have Headhunter's Hatchet.
Got a Goblin Prank. Shimmerfly Goblin Prank take down the Voidwalker.
Yeah.
That would require a coin, though.
It does require
really
the
worth
coin. And it's funny because Goblin Prank is actually at its best after you have already attacked with a minion.
Yeah. Wait, what? You're thinking Bestial, Beast Within.
Sorry.
Goblin Prank.
You're right.
Goblin Prank is +2 +3 and rush dies.
And it dies at the end of turn. You're correct. Sorry, I was thinking the wrong one.
I was thinking
about the other useless.
I was thinking of the one that cost 2 mana, but I was trying to play it for 1 mana. You were thinking of the cost 1 mana, but was not actually in his hand.
Yes.
So.
Apologies there.
All right, there's the Shimmerfly, number 2. And XiaoT does have that Spring Paw alongside Timberwolf available. Ooh, Magic Carpet.
It's really good. So now you can Magic Carpet, set it for the Evil Genius, play the Lackeys the following turn, and it all fits perfectly.
It can still use the Divine Shield from the Argent Squire. I think that is what he likely wants to do because it does give him the best protection with his Voidwalker. The difference between 2 and 3 health on that is pretty huge in terms of breakpoints with Timberwolf and Spring Paw.
Yeah, and XiaoT used tracking, so I think in Jing's mind, for the rest of the next 2 turns, he's going to assume that XiaoT has the optimal way to answer it because he's trying to dig very specifically for cards like Unleash the Hounds and Timberwolves. So how does he respond if that's the case? Magic Carpet seems to be the most resilient to all that. I mean, unless XiaoT's able to rip the most gnarly, deadly shot in the world.
So many pots almost out of time.
And even then, it wouldn't be that bad because he still has the pressure going.
All right, Jing is debating how he wants to trade into it, if he wants to trade into this. And he will.
Yeah, I think Voidwalker is fairly crucial here. So kind of like you were talking about, protecting it by all means. Second Dire Frenzy, definitely a little punish of that deck building portion. Second Dire Frenzy, fantastic in the slower matchups, very awkward in matchups against Zoo.
I actually think this is a reasonable point for XiaoT to use that Goblin Prank. He can play the Timberwolf plus Goblin Prank next turn thanks to the Hunter's Mark draw. He could even Spring Paw down the Magic Carpet or Spring Paw plus Coin Dire Frenzy. Because I don't know what his plan is otherwise. What are your options here? You can Timberwolf plus double Spring Paw. That uses both your Spring Paws and exposes your Timberwolf just to kill a Voidwalker. Obviously, Timberwolf is pretty powerful and valuable if you do find Unleash. He doesn't have it.
I like using one of those 2-mana spells in this capacity. I think Goblin Prank actually does have use because of it.
Yep. And XiaoT agrees.
Yeah. Do you want to exchange the coin for the 3 health? I think you do.
Okay, yeah. Does give you an opportunity to take this down with Spring Paw. I like this as well.
I think, XiaoT has accepted that he's going to be on the back foot.
Scarab Egg with the Evil Genius. The thing that I think Jing might be a little bit scared about here is if he does Scarab Egg into Genius, he is quite vulnerable to a Unleash the Hounds. There's 2 things that I think makes that something which he may not have it as top of mind as otherwise, because XiaoT just coined out a Spring Paw to kill the Flame Imp. If XiaoT had Unleash, would he do that? Would he, use his coin on a Spring Paw?
No. He would have unleashed, trade.
And in particular, if he had the big punish of Unleash plus Hyena, he certainly wouldn't coin, because now he doesn't have a coin to play that combination next turn. I feel like the Scarabag here, the Scarabag into the Evil Genius here might have been a safe opportunity for Jing based on that information.
Yeah, this very conservative play from Jing. I mean, now he doesn't have a way for Scarabag to die guaranteed unless he picks up way to kill it.
Bane of Doom?
Bane of Doom, kill your Scarabag, or like Shadow Flame is like...
This does let him take advantage of the Magic Carpet buffs while it's in play, but he doesn't necessarily have a great way to take advantage of that Scarabag next.
True. Does seem like XiaoT picking up that Headhunter's Hatchet gives him the ability to answer the board partially.
He does have the Hunter's Mark. He can use Hunter's Mark plus the Hatchet to take down the Carpet. Still have one charge of the Hatchet at least that he could use alongside Tundra Rhino or Link's next turn. And he even has possibly like Link's plus Dire Frenzy next turn.
Yeah, I think Link Dire Frenzy is okay, because then it becomes a 4-attack minion. The Headhunter's Hatchet can answer the Magic Carpet as well. Keep his options open in case he does draw a Unleash the Hounds, and then can go from there. But it's not ideal. I think XiaoT is still definitely struggling in this spot here.
Yeah, the double Dire Frenzy in hand is definitely looking a bit awkward. Yeah, it is going to be the Hunter's Mark plus
the Hatchet.
Hatchet, I would assume, considering the two Dire Frenzies.
Yeah, you need to respect what your hand is trying to tell you, which is you need to play this a little slower.
All right.
Oh!
Sail Corsair is a nice draw from Jing.
That's big.
Can take out the Hatchet.
Jing can also life tap here.
Yep.
Very comfortably. And I think that it's in his best interest to, because if XiaoT finds a way to blow him out and doesn't have a way to develop very well as a follow-up, he could be in trouble. And, Scarabag with Bane of Doom is not exactly like a great turn, because Bane of Doom will cost everything the next turn. If you play Scarabag this turn, and you play Bane of Doom on 6, you have 1 mana left to do anything else.
Right.
So I think you want to most likely life tap in this position.
The life tap finds Mecharoo. So now there's options of, does he want to discover with the Lackey? I mean, he could just play all 3 of the 1-drops here. Doesn't really necessarily have time to do that with the Discover effect at this point, though.
I think that because Ethereal Lackey is still like a flexible card, he can hold that in the hand to still make sure Unleash the Hounds doesn't punish him that bad.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, still keep his mana flexible. So this ends up panning out
6
really
damage. XiaoT finds Unleash the Beast.
Okay. So now XiaoT every turn will have like a response, but you only can kill one thing at a time.
That's the problem. Without Unleash, he is killing 1 minion at a time. He's already committed one of his Spring Paws, so his ability to sort of split kill things is diminished as well. He had to use that Timberwolf earlier in combination with the Goblin Prank to get through the Voidwalker. So even if he is killing something a turn, and sometimes even killing it, perhaps with value, he is taking a lot of damage. And he does not have great defensive tools. I think, crucially, if XiaoT is able to find that Witchwood Grizzly, and Jing doesn't have, say, discover a Demon Bolt or a Siphon Soul off that Ethereal Lackey, it could keep him in this game. But there's Bane of Doom, too. The Link's into Dire Frenzy killing a 2-2 here, or a 2-3 here. That gets Bane of Doom. Thunder Runner does not.
Quickly.
Yeah, I like that. I think the Bane of Doom acts as a taunt here to force Jing to trade in a little bit.
Ooh, Sea Giant.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for Jing here. Bane of Doom will play, put 6 minions on the board. So that's 7. That's still too expensive.
No, I don't think you use Bane of Doom here. I think you discover with this Lackey, you play your Mecharoo, play your Sea Giant. There's another Bane of Doom.
Oh, hey, Plot Twist Warlock.
Yo, hey, we found it. I mean, Beta Doom, if nothing else, will just burn to the player. It's 2 damage.
Yeah. 2 damage to a character. That includes yourself. And your enemy hero. XiaoT here seems all but
Oh, yeah.
the play. And
Big boy.
XiaoT also used the Hunter's Mark, which was the randomly generated spell off of Shimmer
He
Fly.
has 1 deadly shot in his deck. But other than that, this giant is scary. And I think that we're going to see XiaoT, of course, trade in here.
Yes.
He's going to trade rather than value trade to condense his board against an Unleash the Hounds. And will companion the draw.
And I think XiaoT is just dead. He's not dead yet, but it's effectively feels like he can't climb back in this game. He has no counter pressure option because Warlock's at 25 life.
Right.
And XiaoT has 2 Dire Frenzies. And this is, again, we're talking about deck building decisions. Some players have chosen to cut one of the Dire Frenzies because they want to be a little more lean and mean against the faster decks. XiaoT wanted to be a little bit greedier.
Unleash the Beast. Kills the Crystallizer. But that giant is going to the face. That's 8 damage. And he can even Bane of Doom down the Wyvern.
Yeah, I think we can life tap here first. Is there a lethal opportunity with Grim Rally?
Not with Magic Carpet.
Yeah, I think, you know, I kind of like the Bane of Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's cool.
Get it. Oh, my.
Wow.
That's a big demon. Illidan. Ooh. The Witchwood Grizzly is powerful, but not powerful enough facing down Sea Giant Illidan.
Yeah, Illidan works really well in this deck because of Sea Giant discounts, and you summon a bunch of stuff in Grim Rally. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I wonder.
She's
We
playing
finally did it.
Miracle Zoo.
Illidan is like not that bad of a card to pop up in a Bane of Doom that was discovered off of an Ethereal Lackey that was
Yeah.
given you off of Evil Genius.
XiaoT just is not prepared to deal with Illidan, okay?
Yeah.
I wonder.
The Grizzly would have 9 health. That just alone is not enough. He dies on
Yeah.
board.
This is it. He looks like he's pretty much going to have to play as Witchwood Grizzly and hope that his opponent doesn't have any little bit extra damage to push through the Witchwood Grizzly
Anything
efficiently.
kills him. Grizzly's 9.
Actually, yeah, you're right. He's not 10.
Illidan
9.
alone comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Taste my blades.
Dude, that is fearsome. Illidan's attack here, very relevant. And now, XiaoT is out of time. Cannot stall long enough.
Yeah, there
That's
it
a
is.
concede.
We are going to game number 4. Jing is going to lead 2-1. Left. That was the Witchwood board.
Oh, yeah. We're ready for some Hearthstone action going to Token Druid, the Dark Horse deck, looking to avenge Kibler's fallen teammate, Ike.
It was
And
a full mulligan by
So,
Jing here.
yeah, it's interesting. Keeper Steladris is definitely a card
I
that
would've-
had a lot of merit to keeping.
I consider Keeper Steladris to be a keeper.
It's in the name. Hearthstone
Literally
is giving you a clue.
It tells you what to do with this card.
Yeah. In predictions, it was not a sleeper.
His name is Steladris the Keeper.
Can we make this meme go deeper? I don't know.
But XiaoT, he has the Flame Imp here, Argent Squire Scarab Egg. So, I think from XiaoT's perspective, ooh, he's going to mulligan Flame Imp.
Yeah, so Flame Imp is really bad against Acorn Bear. I think that's one
true.
thing he's recognizing.
That is factual.
And it's one of those things where not only is it bad, but it also actively damages you, which puts you in deeper threat of Savage Roar range, so you have to play more conservatively. So I like XiaoT's where his head's at. I mean, some of the people are thinking like, wow, like, that's like the card you want when you're on the play and you're going versus Zoo. You have to be very mindful of what your opponent can do in response.
It is worth noting as well that Jing is playing a version of Token Dude that's a little bit interesting, a little bit unusual. He has 2 belligerent gnomes in his deck, which is a card that is very powerful against other aggressive decks like Zoo.
Yes. But this opening hand from XiaoT looks way better.
Oh, it's good. It's real good.
And I'm looking at that Defender of Argus, and that looks
What year is it? Jumanji.gif.
just when you play Defender of Argus, the minions just start swapping positions again. It's like, oh no! For people who don't know, there used to be that weird adjacent thing, but thankfully has gotten fixed years ago. And now XiaoT has that Defender of Argus to set up some really nice ways to buff the board and fight back, or maybe stop Jing from getting massive damage in.
And, you know, this is a, you know, a lot of people look at Zoo and they say, oh, aggro deck, oh, you know, like, how much thought can it take kind of thing when players go into the rope on, like, turn 1, turn 2.
Oh.
That was a no attack?
It's fairly inconsequential because there's lifesteal on the board.
Yeah.
Also, is there heal benefits?
There's no heal stuff in Jing's deck. I guess it doesn't really matter. Because, yeah, if he does attack the face, then these will just heal back. He just didn't want to waste any energy flicking his wrist towards Jing's face.
You can save that extra 1/1,000,000th of a calorie.
I want to burn those when I can. That's why I click constantly, right? It's my workout routine.
We make a joke about saving your mental APM.
Time waits for no one.
All right.
But I mean, if you get to know Hearthstone players, there's very few communities that exercise their mental gymnastics as much as they do.
Got to justify everything to myself. The Hog Steed, I mean, Jing does have the opportunity to Hog Steed down. I was going to say he could Hog Steed down the Scarab Egg.
And then just trade.
And kill off 2 of those. It would give XiaoT 2 minions in play.
Yeah. I think it opens himself to a Grim Rally play at that point.
Yeah.
It's like they can play 2 minions, Grim Rally.
But you get to value your opponent's 0 to. You get to eat, effectively eat that body and not let them either use it with a sacrifice effect or a pump effect to kill your guys.
That's fair. XiaoT weighing the evil genius and how to play this dynamic. You could pop the egg first, and then do it.
Right, and this.
Or in this case,
yeah,
doesn't
even pop it. Right, and this gives that value from the 0-2 part. Gives him 3 guys in play.
Yep. No swipe available for Jing. You ready to use this coin?
His Blessing of the Ancients, but that's far away.
Landscaping
from doing too much here. Yeah, I think that we will very likely just see double trade into landscaping to get 2/2s, but that's an opportunity for the Defender of Argus to look pretty powerful, especially with the Witchy-Lackey in hand. The Defender of Argus can buff some things and then become a 5-drop. I wonder if XiaoT may want to wait and just do that in the same turn, even.
I think it kind of depends on the landscape of how the game is shaping.
See what you did there. He may not have the opportunity, though, given how this looks. Because leaving Jing with anything on board is terrifying. Ooh, Grim Rally, though.
Oh, man.
Faceless Lackey and Grim Rally is a very powerful turn here.
Yep.
Can even fit in Evil Genius if he so wishes on the Faceless Lackey itself.
Right. I mean, let's say Faceless Lackey picks up a Death Rattle minion like a Scarab.
Right.
Then you got the best of everything.
Yeah, now, this is effectively, at this stage, both decks doing the token deck thing.
Yes.
And right now, XiaoT is doing it better. His cards are all very cheap. Jing has a lot of expensive stuff. But crucially, Jing has that tech card in his hand that is not common in these decks,
right,
in the form of Starfall.
Yeah.
So even if XiaoT is able to get a sizable lead, if he isn't careful, doesn't at least keep some resources in reserve, that Starfall, even with a Grim Rally board, can be extremely potent.
I like a Grim Rally play, but at the same time can understand if he just wants a Defender of Argus. It's just easier tempo. I wonder if he's going to trade to get ahead of the buffs.
I feel like...
So... Okay, I feel like that's pretty punishable, but at the same time, there's not that many things that Jing could do without Power of the Wild. I guess the Acorn Bear Blessing of the Ancients.
Acorn Bear Blessing does allow him to kill both these and still have both of his minions live.
Right.
It does leave the Defender of Argus in play, which I think maybe something that XiaoT is keeping in mind as far as the value of that Witchy-Lackey in hand as well as the Grim Rally.
I think it's because, if I had to take a guess, is that XiaoT says if Jing keeps his board alive, there's still enough minions for a Sea Giant play to come down, and then he could trade and then clear the board and just have an 8/8 left.
But he doesn't have a Sea Giant right now.
Right, if he drew into it.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these players are thinking about the ways they draw, you know, and that often could just win you the game because, yes, Token Drew can go wide on the board, but C-Giant can just close the game in 3 turns. So I think that's some of the logic with XiaoT, and he's such a deep thinker that I have no doubt that's something that he was considering.
And I feel like Jing, is going to go for the Blessing of Ancient here, in large part because it's against this kind of matchup, it's tough to find a time to use that, and it's got Twin Spell. You get another opportunity later on anyway. And crucially, though, there's no trades available for XiaoT where his Defender of Argus stays alive, so he can't get a value trade and then Witchy Lackey at this point because of those buffs.
He could if he Grim Rallies first, but that's not the ideal way to utilize it.
Yes, that's true.
So
Which is not unreasonable. You know, Faceless Lackey.
Just get a Knife Juggle off Faceless Lackey.
Let me show you the
Okay.
other side.
And Akanai is not going to do anything.
Yeah, you can Faceless Lackey into, say, Argent Squire or Evil Genius. And then Grim Rally, attack, Witchy Lackey. Man, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
So many possibilities.
Specifically, having an individual big minion going to the next turn is quite powerful against the threat of the Starfall that we know is in Jing's hand, and XiaoT certainly knows is in his deck.
Yes.
Yeah, looks what he's going for. Gonna rally that up. Take the value trade, give himself a 5-drop. What's in the box?
All right.
Ooh,
A minor upgrade.
It's appropriate in the theme of the matchup. Ooh, Keeper Steladris.
Oh, wow. That's pretty nice with Wrath and Starfall.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Starfall, you get another copy of the 2 damage AoE plus the 5 damage to a direct target. Yeah.
But do you play...
In this position, I don't think you play just yet. It's something that's like an amazing turn 7.
Right.
In this spot, it seems like you have the option of just developing right back and then hoping, or you can just develop with minorly with squirrels and then Blessing of the Ancients right there.
You can play Squirrel Blessing, which allows you to trade into the Frostwolf Warlord. You end up with a pair of 2/2s against your opponent's 4/3 Divine Shield 2/2 and 1/1, which it doesn't feel great, but isn't a disaster. And then you still have the Starfall in your hand. So if your opponent does value trade, you can clean things up with the Starfall the following turn.
There's also, I mean, there's merit in the super wide play. The super wide makes it feel like everything softens up for a swipe. So you can just squirrel landscaping. That's also completely viable too, if you don't want a Blessing here.
Squirrel landscaping isn't bad. Just trade into the 4/3.
Value trades. Dude,
Ooh.
these players are so greedy, and I like it. It sets up some really exciting board tension scenarios.
Well, this actually is particularly interesting against the Grim Rally in XiaoT's hand. Or rather, the Grim Rally and the Evil Genius. It's like, all right, you want to use any of your sacrifice effects? I'm not giving you any fodder.
Right, and XiaoT has to weigh if he wants to life tap in this position, because if he plays the lackeys from Evil Genius, he is going to be floating 1 mana. And I think mana efficiency here is very important. Every single card will be of utmost importance of squeezing out its value.
Mecharoo, though, ooh, that
good.
is really good for
really
XiaoT here.
It's fantastic.
That turns on Evil Genius and Grim Rally this turn.
Oh, yeah.
That may have been the best draw in XiaoT's deck. There's a Witchy Lackey, too, so he can make a 6. He got a bad 5. We can upgrade it.
No, trade.
He can clear off the entire board and go upstairs.
It does force... You saw that your opponent didn't have a swipe when there's a swipe opportunity.
And you also end up... your opponent, is looking to kind of soften up your board, right? With these 2/2s. If you're trying to play around Starfall, the best thing that you can do...
I mean, this is still good.
It is.
And it still is relatively resilient to Starfall, and that you still have a really good board against it.
You do.
I mean, actually,
Keeper Steladris Wrath here is gross, though. You have Keeper Steladris Wrath into another 3 Wrath.
Clear basically the 2/5 tech.
Or the 5 attack and 1 3 attack and leave the 5/2 up because you have a 2-power guy. It probably doesn't work. You'd probably rather just kill the 2 3/3s. Or the 5/3 and the 5/2, rather. I don't know. I wonder if Witchy Lackey was better. I guess Witchy Lackey, if you didn't Witchy Lackey, or rather if you didn't Grim Rally here and took the rest of this play, you could just get Starfall here and just have the 6-drop.
What to do?
Yeah, I like your initial suggestion here.
I do have to wonder if there's at least some thought being given to, well, is there any way for me to hold on to this keeper so I can use Starfall, because getting a second copy is so powerful.
It's blowout potential, but it's also on both sides.
Right.
You might just die.
Yeah, you could just fall behind here.
Yeah,
Wow.
being able to utilize this follow-up spell of Solar Wrath.
And he is going to clear off the 3/3. So this is specifically because of that Starfall, right? He has, it's like, okay, well, if you trade over my Keeper Splatters with your 3/3, Starfall kills your 2 health guy to begin with. I don't care about the little bit of extra attack. What matters is keeping this stuff off the board.
I mean, that should be playing with Starfall face up for XiaoT. If he's, heads up, it's like, why wouldn't you clear the higher attack minion? Oh, you have to have Starfall.
Yep. Well, I mean, even if you are planning on playing a bunch of 2/2s in general, right? You'd rather that you leave your opponent with minions that die to your 2/2s than minions that kill your 2/2s and survive.
I agree. Maybe XiaoT can find use of that Flame Imp then as a rush minion with the Common Lackey instead. And then keep his keep his Argent Squire healthy. I kind of wonder if he wants to even Witchy Lackey his 5/2 in this spot.
You only get a 3-drop. It does give it, like, on average, like, +1 health.
I just wanted to survive the Starfall and force your opponent to not develop. I like this Goblin Lackey rush and then upgrade the something. Oh!
Okay. Who's got a Keeper Steladris now?
The way that these games have been panning out today, Kibler, where it's like if somebody has a card, they just have they find a way to generate on the other side. Right? It's like the Mechathune on one side and the Mechathune on the other.
All right, well, there is a Starfall here. Doesn't clear that many things, though. There's still it just kills the 5/2, the 1/1. You can punch something.
Yeah, I mean, it removes 8 or 9 power on the board, which is fairly important, I'd say.
You can cycle the Nature's Wrath as well. So
I like that. I like that a lot.
Rather than punching, if he chooses.
Yeah, I think that's good because his hand's not looking amazing. But next turn, or not next turn, 2 turns from now, it has a lot of explosive potential. Adding another Mana Crystal with the Dreamwake Guardians, the Landscaping, the Soul of the Forest. It's like a couple turns from greatness here for Jing.
The Henge Clan Hogsteed's pretty good. That can be very powerful next turn in combination with the Dreamway Guardians and the Soul of the Forest. I expect we'll see Starfall here. I feel like Jing has been trying to milk it as much as he can. Finally, we'll pull the trigger. Down to 3 power, 2 minions for XiaoT. Solarium with a huge draw, though. Oh, wow. XiaoT finds Sea Giant. Oh, no! That is a disaster for XiaoT. Those are 2 of his best cards in this matchup, and he is just shy of being able to play them. He might as well have life tapped.
Oh, yeah. But that is results-oriented thinking. There were, what, 16 cards in the deck?
That is so
17?
brutal for XiaoT.
And Jing, he's on cloud 9 right now.
Now, Jing can play Dreamway Guardians into Henge Clan Hogseed into Soul of the Forest if he wants, which will allow him to get the lifesteal 1/2s, kill off the Flame Imp, and end up with 2 1/2s, a 2/2, and a 1/1.
Right.
That said, there's a Magic Carpet.
Magic Carpet.
So despite the disaster of those Sea Giants going away, it does put Jing in a pretty awkward scenario against that specifically. Jing could also just play Dreamway into Landscaping into the Blessing of the Ancients he just drew.
Right.
Which may be stronger here, given the fact that he gets the 2 3s with Lifesteal, very powerful. 3 3s. 3 3s are a lot more, a lot better than anything smaller because they let him have minions survive against the Magic Carpet. He's going to go with the Soul of the Forest play, though.
I like Soul of the Forest.
This does allow him to partition his mana better over turns, too. Next turn could be Landscaping to double Blessing of the Ancients.
Right.
The question is, does he have... Ooh, Soulfire, not so hot here.
I mean, I'm looking at XiaoT's deck list. He has 2 Soulfires. Right now, but the lifesteal, yeah, lifesteal is what really complicates it.
That is a huge element of what's going on here, and killing those for XiaoT is not easy. He can use the abusive sergeant trade, a couple things into that, but he's leaving up the 2/2s.
Right.
And Soulfire, he is trading with just a token that kills a 2/2 or kills a 1/2 and leaves a 2/2.
So many possibilities.
And not only is there the risk of just losing the board, there's the risk of dying. Savage Roar is a real threat here from Jing. If he doesn't kill off actual minion numbers in the board, not just the sort of best minions in the form of the lifestealers.
Well, then he trades into the 2/2 with these minions and tries to restrict the board space as best as he can. I think he's going to just be relying on Magic Carpet.
Yep.
And ride this all the way home, if he can.
All right. The carpet is there, trying to carry XiaoT. Landscaping, landscaping power blessing.
Wow, that's
is
a big
here.
draw.
That gives Jing 4 minions on board if he decides to go with the minion version, and I expect he will.
Yeah, he needed something cheap to be able to play to really get the full benefit of the Blessing of the Ancients here. Is Jing weighing the possibility of double buff, or is he perhaps thinking about trading first and then buffing? In this case, I think because you might be in a situation where top decking Savage Roar would be best. I think the wider the better. But you can't deal with the Magic Carpet, therefore developing big into the board or wide into the board might make you more vulnerable.
Right. I mean, he could just double Blessing here and save the power of the wild.
That's fair.
That gives him a bunch of 4/4s. Those are much harder to kill with the Magic Carpet. Whereas if he gets a bunch of 3/3s, those could be more easily picked apart.
He also could just try to go for value, like hero power down to 2/1 over time. And then try to utilize Spandam more efficiently over the course of 2 turns.
All right, we'll be double Blessing.
That's
Chomps
such
the
a
keeper.
big board for right now.
That's a lot of minions, a lot of power on board for Jing. Heals up to 18. Second Magic Carpet.
I mean, that's a pretty sizable.
Yeah, but those are 4/4s. That Voidwalker, and that Voidwalker will die attacking anything.
Yes. And that's why the double buff here was really smart by Jing, because he recognizes the power of Magic Carpet. It's designed to really pick apart those kinds of board states. And now XiaoT's best thing to do is to not attack, I think, with this this Voidwalker and suicide it. And then Jing has a draw to win the game.
If he doesn't attack, he just roar through the Voidwalker.
I don't think that
he
much
dies
change.
anyway. I think Roar kills you anyway. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah.
Yes, I mean, even Swipe ends the game here at this point.
He can use his Magic Carpet and the Voidwalker to kill a 4/4 to get it off the board.
Yeah, Jing actually has several ways to just lethal. As long as he just gets past his Voidwalker, he has 11 on the board, plus 3 from the power of the wild. That's 14.
He mostly just doesn't want to draw Whispering Woods.
Looks like he picks up the Forest Aid.
Oh my god! Forest Aid fills his board. Power of the Wild buffs the entire board.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, so XiaoT has to win next turn, and there's just no way.
It can't happen. There's no way.
He doesn't have Sea Giants. He uses Magic Carpets, no Evil Geniuses. He's going to be drawing Witchwood Imps. He's going to be drawing more 1-drops and maybe a Direwolf Alpha.
Trade this in, get the heal, then Power of the Wild buffing up the 2/2.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way at 20 life Jing could lose from this position.
No,
XiaoT is staring at his last turn in the 2019 World Championship.
Jing is taking his time, but this is all but over. And yeah, XiaoT, he's having none of it. Jing will advance to the top 8.
And it looks like the first of the Chinese players has fallen.